Not me almost falling just now. What's up guys, my name's Caitlin. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, super excited to have you here. You are in for a treat today. Today we are discussing breast augmentation, what to expect, what I did not know beforehand, just any tips that I have, and my whole experience with it. So I'm really excited to get y'all some information about this. I have people ask me questions about this all the time. I got my surgery in September of 2021. I feel so happy with them. Like, the results, and it hasn't even been a year yet, is just like insane. So yeah, let's get right into the details. Okay, so first I want to start with why I actually got a breast augmentation. So I work out, of course. I'm a personal trainer. I've been on my fitness journey for a little over 7 years now, lifting weights, transforming my body. I've been extremely happy with my results. Y'all already know, I'm building the butt, building the legs, stomach flat. But the one thing that you cannot build in the gym are breasts. I have a very naturally strong and athletic build. That was something that I've always been a little bit insecure about growing up. I'm gonna add actually my before pictures here so y'all can just kind of see a little bit of where I was before. I felt like I looked really young. I just wanted to appear like a little bit more my age, a little bit more grown. I wanted them to match my body, my muscles, and my level of confidence a little bit more. So one thing that I will say is really important is don't go into wanting to get a surgery with the idea that you're gonna be way more confident and all this. You need to be confident within yourself and who you are first and foremost before going into it. It's just an enhancement, and you know, it's a very personal thing. So make sure you're doing it for you and not because you think people are gonna like you better or anything like that. So that is a huge thing. I definitely did it for myself because it's something that I've always been insecure about. My amazing surgeon, Dr. Christopher Chang at Congressional Plastic Surgery in Tysons Corner, Virginia. Him and his whole staff were so amazing throughout the whole process, literally from the first phone call to the consult to the surgery to post-op, everything. I'm just honestly so blown away at how seamless and perfect the process was for me. I found Dr. Chang by looking on Google for surgeons near me. I actually live in a little bit of a smaller city, so I wanted to go to a larger area and a little bit more of a higher end area to find a doctor to do my surgery. So I looked in the DC and Northern Virginia area versus where I currently live. And that's when I came across Dr. Chang. I was stalking him for a while. I stalked his Instagram page. I went to his patients' Instagram pages, and I was looking at their pictures just in regular clothes and just doing research on all of the work that he does. And there was honestly not one piece of work that I saw that was bad. Everything looked so natural. And that's the biggest thing that I wanted. I didn't want to go into it with something that was unrealistic. I didn't want to look fake. I didn't want to really go into something looking like I had something done. So that was number one priority for me. The doctor I go to, I need to see some natural results. So yeah, stalked him for sure. Social pages, everything, his Instagram posts, all the before and afters, everything was just great. I tried to find pictures of women who had similar chests as my before picture so that I would kind of, just a ballpark idea of where I would probably end up. There's a lot of different factors that go into what your results will look like, which I'll go into a little bit detail later on. Your surgeon is the most important part of the process. On TikTok, I've seen a lot of horror stories, and there's a whole community of people with videos about botched surgeries and everything. And it's just really important. I know some of the doctors, they get their bad reviews taken down or whatever, but just look at the work, look at the before and afters, go to the patients' pages, look at them, see what people are actually living and what they actually are doing, because you can't fake that. If somebody saw me on Dr. Chang's page and went to my page, you see that I'm living, I'm moving, everything looks natural, everything looks good. So it's you're seeing it in real time, and you're seeing me live out my life with the surgery already completed. So that was super important to me. So yeah, I definitely went on stalker mode with that to try to make sure I found somebody good. I was not interested in traveling too far. I only had to drive 2 hours, and my boyfriend actually lives up there, so I was able to stay with him after my surgery, but I'll get into that a little bit later too. Honestly, when I was doing a lot of research about breast augmentations, it seemed like a pretty straightforward procedure. You know, like it was saying on Google that it's one of the most commonly performed cosmetic surgeries out there, so you know, you hear people get them all the time. I wasn't necessarily too worried about it. I'm fairly healthy. I've never really had any complications. My family history is pretty clear. So I did go into wanting to start the process with a very clear conscience about that. So that is something also to take into consideration. After I chose Dr. Chang as my doctor, I called his office, scheduled my consult. It was super easy. I went in, I tried in some little like gummy like implants into a bra so I could kind of pick a size. I had some reference pictures, but it's going to be a little bit different because everybody's body type is different, so you're gonna want to really trust your surgeon on their recommendations after you kind of select a size range, and they're very, very helpful there. Very helpful. Like, it really didn't take me long to like pick a size and go for it. He did say though that one like big regret that people have after having the surgery is that they wish they would have gone bigger. So in the beginning, after the surgery, they're kind of swollen. They look a little bit bigger than they are. After they settle, they do like go down in size a little bit. So always take that into consideration when picking your size as well. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the exact cc's that I got, but I think I got somewhere around 445. So in my initial consult, I picked like a 405, and I had some asymmetry, so he was going to be doing one size larger and one size a little bit smaller to even them out. But I ended up calling and deciding to go with a bigger size, and I did try both of them. So yeah, you get to actually like physically see what the size is gonna potentially look like at your consult. I got my implants over the muscle because I had enough tissue. So that's also another big reason why you really need to trust the surgeon that you go to, because they are the one, they decide like where the implant is going to go. You can either get over or under the muscle. I don't really hear of too many complications with either one. From my understanding, it's just about the how much tissue you have. So that's just up to your surgeon. I'm pretty sure about like what to do with that. But yeah, so I had enough tissue to do over the muscle, and after that he asked me if I had any questions. We took before pictures at the consult. But yeah, I mean, he was really, really detailed in explaining everything to me, explaining the whole process, explaining about the material I got. I did get the gummy bear silicone gel implants, and they are gummy bears. I will say that. I will definitely say that. And I'm not gonna lie, at my consult, like, I really didn't have that many questions because I Googled a lot about breast implants and everything like that. I did ask the question about breast implant illness, and he did explain that he has not had a case of that with any of his patients. To my understanding, that happens when there's like a gene that some gene that you have that, I don't know, just negatively reacts. I do know somebody who did experience breast implant illness and had to get her implants removed. That was my only concern when going into it, but he did reassure me that he hasn't seen it and that I should not be expecting that everything should be good. So eased my mind about that. I felt good going into it, and yeah, it was, I mean, the consult process was honestly just so seamless. So easy, so comforting. I had no doubts going into it. I was honestly like even more excited than before the consult. So yeah, it was great. Price, I will disclose, I did pay around $6,800 for my implants. I have heard of people who like travel and go to like Miami or somewhere else that pay around like $5,000. But again, like I said, I did not want to have to get on a plane and travel and go somewhere that I don't know anybody or anything. I wanted to be close to home, and he was definitely worth that price. You can definitely expect it. I've seen between like $5,000 and $10,000 for it. So after my consult, after I paid the surgery day was set. It was crazy how seamless and quick the process was. I don't know if this is like super rare, but I had my consult in August and my surgery was September 1st. Like they just had an opening. They said usually his schedule's super booked out, but they just had an opening and I was like, oh, it's meant to be, I'm supposed to do this. Let me tell y'all, surgery day was a breeze. The only thing that sucked about surgery day was that I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat until after. So, but my surgery was at 2 p.m. on September 1st in 2021, and I went to a comedy show at 8:30. I've had surgery before on my foot, and I was done for. Like, I was down for the count. This was like the easiest process ever. I'm telling y'all. I hope I'm easing somebody's mind right now, but my doctor, the whole team that he had, everybody like made it the easiest process ever. Post-op, the only thing for like a couple weeks, it was very tight. Like it just felt like pressure on my chest and it was like weird. Like I felt like, does this make sense? Well, I'm like, how I'm like stiff. Like, yeah, everything was just stiff, but they honestly like, even just day one straight off the table looking bomb. I couldn't believe it. I was like sending pictures to my aunt, my mom, everybody like, look, I was like taking selfies, like look. And they were like, what? They look that good? Like literally on day one, very swollen, not much pain. I was given pain medication. I didn't really need it too much. It's uncomfortable though. Like you're getting surgery, so like be mindful of that. It is surgery, but it's not a serious or complicated surgery. From my experience, it was so blissful, so great. I was so happy. Y'all know I am a fitness girl. Post-op, no working out for like minimum 5 weeks. So I got over the muscle and I was told that it does heal quicker than under the muscle. So I was able to get back to activity a little bit sooner. You'll definitely want to listen to your doctor's recommendations on that one. But yeah, the no working out was kind of trash. So if you are on a health and fitness journey, or even if you're not, I do encourage you before your surgery in the weeks leading up, start a really healthy diet so that you can create some good habits that are going to last you through those weeks and beyond when you're not able to work out. So you don't want to be stuck on your couch or just at home for 5 weeks, no activity, and eating garbage, because then you're just going to put yourself back even further. So couple weeks leading up to your surgery, make sure you start eating a little bit healthier, maybe cut out sodas, limit alcohol, things like that. So that way when you're not working out, then you can maintain a healthy diet and you can keep your gains, or you can keep your journey going in a positive direction instead of like pausing it or taking a step back. Because honestly, my body was so well rested afterwards. After those 5 weeks, I got right back to working out. Like, it took me maybe like a week to get back into my regular workout routine after I got the okay to start lifting again. So that was really nice, because that was one thing that I was super worried about. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't work out for all these weeks, but it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be at all. Unintentionally, I did gain weight. I was eating a little bit less during my recovery process, but I've noticed since I did get my breast augmentation, I have gained weight a little bit quicker than I ever did before. I was doing a bulk. I didn't drastically change my food that much, but I spoke to somebody and they did say that weight gain can kind of precede a breast augmentation. Not 100% sure about that, but that's just an observation of something that I experienced. I've gained weight quicker than I ever have been able to before. Not mad at it, kind of happy. But yeah, overall, y'all see, I can't keep them covered. Like I just can't. One, paid for them, so hello, they're getting shown off, okay? But two, I'm just so happy with the results, and I honestly didn't 100% know how my body would react to it. I've had 0 issues, no pain, no discomfort. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, literally your nipples are like numb. Like your boobs are numb for a little while. So like you can like, even like when you scratch, like you don't feel anything. And it's very weird but it comes back, okay? Like, it almost always comes back. So that's just a heads up. It's numb. You don't feel nothing for a little bit. I think my biggest tips, if you have ever thought about getting a breast augmentation or you're already scheduled to get one, make sure you've done your research heavily on your doctor, their staff, their whole practice. Go to their patients' pages, like I said, like be on stalker mode, stalker vibes, Joe from you, okay? Like, you need to tap in to that and do your research. Do your research about any complications that could arise. Ask the doctor questions. If you have any further questions, like, don't hesitate to ask. They are there to help you feel comfortable. If you go to a consult with a doctor and you don't feel comfortable and they're kind of not really answering your questions or kind of just beating around it, speeding through it, or just trying to get you to like schedule, leave. That's one thing that I will say that I love about the practice that I went to, is that like I felt very comfortable that I could ask questions if I had them. I really didn't have many questions when I went, but like I felt comfortable enough that I could. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel like, oh, this is like a pressing decision that I have to do this like right now. Like, no, everything was just very chill, very like go with the flow, very informational. So you just want to always make sure that you feel the vibe of where you go. And consults, you don't have to just go to one. I got extremely lucky that the first person that I chose to dive into on the research, he ended up being the doctor that I went with. I got very lucky with that, but it's not uncommon to go to multiple consults. You do have to pay like a deposit to go to them, but it's an investment, and that's your body and your health at the end of the day. So like, it's worth it to go to a couple different consults if you don't feel good with your first choice. 2, make sure you are doing it for you, for nobody else. Don't do it for no man. Don't do it for no woman. Don't do it for no likes on social media. Don't do it for no clout. Nothing. Do it for you and because you want to, not for anything else. And then 3, make sure after you find your doctor that you listen to their instruction. One amazing thing that I loved about Dr. Chang is that when I told him I wanted to go bigger, he was like, yeah, that's it. It's gonna look weird on your body if you try to go any bigger than that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Listen to the doctor. Like, you wanna be able to give your input on what you want, and they take that and they take their knowledge, their skill, their experience, and they're like, okay, well, I think you should like go with this option. Like, just trust the doctor that you go to. That's why, again, I cannot put enough emphasis on doing your research before you go into it, because if you find somebody that you trust, you can have as seamless of a process that I had. Like, it was literally boom, boom, boom. Cool. Trusted it. He was like, yeah, I wouldn't go any bigger than that. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, oh, I didn't have to fight anything. I didn't have to say like, no. I just trusted it. So when you get that vibe with somebody that you're going to with your consult, go with it. 4, reiterating, eat healthy before, during, and then try to maintain for after your recovery, because the weight gain, the not being able to work out is definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. So you just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself without the actual like physical activity while you're trying to recover. 5, understand that everybody is different. Everybody's results are going to be different based on their body anatomy, based on the tissue. There's a lot of different things that I actually had no idea, like with the asymmetry and the, like there's so, I didn't know that it was so particular. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I didn't know it was so particular when it came to like all of the little minor imperfections or like minor things about your body anatomy and your specific like build that go into it. I really didn't. I thought like, oh, you could just get it and then it will make it look, no. Because you could take 2 people that go to the same doctor and get the same thing, but it's gonna look different on them. So that's important to understand too. I will say, like, I feel so amazing after getting a breast augmentation. It has been a great experience. Like, scarring is very minimal. I forgot to mention too, I'm forgetting, I took notes and I'm still forgetting to mention stuff. But I got my incisions under here. I did not go through the nipple. I'm not even gonna lie, I can't even imagine trying to go through the nipple. or the armpit, because like, how do you, I don't know. I did underneath. It's like a crease. You cannot even see it. Like I literally would have to like lift it up for you to be able to see it. So yeah, that's nice.